Okay, so today we're doing the Chapter 12 summary. Remember folks, broad strokes. We're only talking about the stuff that's pertinent to the big picture, so even if cool stuff did happen, if it is mostly just an isolated incident or something small, it probably won't be mentioned, right? Now, if you do want a more in-depth summary, I think Afflatus is doing one at some point, probably, I'm not actually sure. Otherwise, you can always watch a playthrough or something. It is a very good story, so I would recommend experiencing it for yourself if possible. But with that, let's go ahead and just get right into it. The chapter opens on the steps of the Don River with the forces of the Eastern Front of the Great War. It has been an unseasonably warm winter, and though the fields are golden, they are bereft of wheat, and genuine fears of a winter famine are sweeping across the region. As a result, the bandits of the area have been spurred into action, becoming more aggressive thanks in no small part to an external faction aiding them. Lilia is here on the Eastern Front, and as she flies up to perform reconnaissance on a bandit group, her broom is shot down by an anti-aircraft weaponry that is significantly too advanced for the time period. Lilia makes it out safely, though her broom is non-functional yet again, and we are then introduced to Ivan Ivanovich Baragrad, the cavalry commander of the Zeno detachment in the area, a former subordinate of Igor's, and one of the primary characters of this story. After this, we swap perspectives to Meryl and Charon, who are also traveling eastward, as Charon is still following the aura of death that hangs around war. They are a bit lost with very few supplies, but they are able to find a small village. Unfortunately, due to the famine, there is very little that they're able to actually provide them, and while in the middle of exchanging information, a group of bandits advances upon the village. Charon then tells Meryl to get away while he stays behind to do something. I'm really not sure what he was realistically looking to accomplish here, but he stays behind. And regardless, Meryl takes off on Andres' back, but manages to catch a bullet just as she reaches the Don River and winds up falling in. Back at the Cavalry Corps camp, Cernova and Ivan are having a bit of an argument over the new orders from the Foundation, and it is revealed that the Zeno is being kept on a very tight leash, with suspicions high, particularly around those who associated with Igor prior to his defection. Their orders are now to withdraw from the Don River Basin and hold the city of Baragrad for 2 weeks, as the Timekeeper is coming and has some sort of mission to do there. Flashing now over to Burton, it is revealed that she's headed to Baragrad, as Kreis had told her that information regarding Erd was located somewhere within the city. Madame Z warns her that not only is she going to be heading into a high-conflict region, but also that the Foundation Hawks may see this as a favor owed, pushing her further and further into the political arena, despite her wishes to remain apart from it. Regardless, Burton remains undeterred, and she and Sinedo head eastward as well. Back at the Don River Basin camp, Sergei, a newer soldier and a pertinent minor character for this story, has gone fishing. However, what he manages to pull up isn't fish, but a girl. Following the bandit attack on the village, Meryl was swept away by the current and has now been fished up by the Zeno side, despite having, run away with Charon specifically to escape the Foundation. Upon waking, she finds herself at the River Basin camp and meets Lilia, whom she recognizes, but luckily, Lilia does not recognize her, so for now, her secret remains safe. At this point, we shift over to the bandit encampment. As it turns out, the bandits have not allied with Igor's contingent as was previously feared, but with Krutov, yet another subordinate of Igor's who has defected due to seeing his former commander as weak and indecisive following the events of Antarctica and Igor's decision to part ways with Manus Vindictae. In addition to provisioning the bandits, Krutov has also made an alliance with the Manus, though he still refuses to don the mask. And together they've been taking arcanists from all the villages that they've been pillaging, and either converting them to their cause or using them as ritual fodder, which introduces yet another new face to us, the Manus Ritualist. At this point she's not given a proper name, but she does manage to survive the event, so whether this is another cryptography lead situation and she'll be named later, who knows, right? Regardless, Charon is here too, having been captured and immobilized by the Ritualist, and in a brief conversation between him and Krutov, it is revealed that one of the man's greatest driving motivators is his fear of death. After this, we move back to the Cavalry Corps, who have arrived at yet another village. However, this time they are met with open hostility. Meryl is confused as Sergei had told her that this was his hometown, and upon investigating further, it's revealed that news of Zeno's extraction from the basin was leaked. The people are now concerned that they're going to be abandoned and left to fend off the bandits on their own, further increasing tensions. On the other side of things, Burton and Zeno have arrived at the basin along with Marcia, and they meet up with Lilia and Ivan. Burton reveals that her mission in Baragrad is to find the Amber Room, which is associated with Erd, but any further information is scarce. Additionally, Lilia gets a new broom, and with it a new fit and her own squad, the Flying Witches. Now, while the others are all talking shop, Marcia gets acquainted with the village, surveying the area when she becomes aware that she is being watched. Though she initially thinks it's one of the village children, further investigation reveals that it is actually a giant crab, which promptly attempts to flee. After beating the hell out of it, the crab transforms, resulting in an impromptu reunion between Marcia and Meryl, the former berating the latter for her recklessness. After some time and a few side missions, we're back on the road again, and as we approach Baragrad, find something amiss. A force has already assembled outside of its walls. Igor has made it to the city first, though he is not here to fight. After Lilia does a flyby reconnaissance, a messenger approaches the cavalry corps ranks. Ptolemy has been sent to formally request Burton and Ivan meet with Igor. They agree, and in the following parley, we learn a bit about Igor's motivations. He had long become disillusioned with the Foundation's promises, and as a result sought his own way to cross the storm, a mode of safety independent of the Foundation. Arcana offered this boon to him, leading to the events of Chapter 8 and his defection, and Igor then offers to lead Burton to the Amber Room, citing it as one of the reasons for his distrust and telling her that it is near impossible to find without a guide. Eventually they come to an agreement, and Griffin Squad forms an uneasy alliance with the Cavalry Corps despite some mishaps. Entering Baragrad, we find that here too the people are tense, though we don't have a ton of time to think about that since we immediately head over to find the Amber Room. It is located among a series of tunnels beneath an old church, and as we head towards it, Igor explains that he had been tasked with finding anomalous people, that is to say, people who, after the storm, may appear similar to their previous iterations, but are wholly different, and taking them there to the room, with one of these people being Erd following the 6th storm. Upon entering the room proper, we are then whisked back to a bit of a flashback. Erd is seated in the white marble chair with her finger on the red button, and it becomes immediately apparent that this is not the original Erd, but one of her iterations, as she does not identify with her old name. Regardless, the experiment begins with some unknown operator logging it as the Vessel Ensoulment Test number 13, and immediately things get weird. Erd starts glitching out, and we see countless iterations of her twisting and commingling before stabilizing in a white space. Burton stands across from her, herself also split across a multitude of iterations, and somehow she is able to converse with Erd of the past, who claims that this is a moment that has already happened. The experiment operator becomes excited, claiming that this is the closest that Ensoulment has come to success, and that for a few seconds, the Amber Room had become unobservable, positing that in the brief time, it had traveled to the future. And that's all we get. Burton is awakened outside of the church by Zeno and Marcia, and is shocked to hear that she had been down there for almost 12 hours. The Baragrad she awakens to now is under attack, as Krutov's forces are laying siege to the city. The command forces are able to eventually repel the attackers, although after the fight they find a familiar messenger on horseback approaching. It is Charon, his form broken and falling apart, the death within him leaking out, and as Marcia comes to collect him, he relays a message from Krutov. Give him Igor or he will raze Baragrad to the ground. Naturally, the city folk are adamant that they give over Igor, but rather than capitulate, the allied forces instead opt to counterattack. And unfortunately, it is at this point that a message from the Foundation comes through. There will no longer be 2 weeks wait. The Cavalry Corps is to withdraw from the region as soon as possible. With Burton's mission in Baragrad finished, there is no longer a reason to stick around. Ivan, however, is unwilling to leave his people like this and defies the Foundation, claiming that he will protect his home and kin regardless of the consequences that follow. And with this said, the allied forces are set to march on Krutov's. However, before that, Sergei's unit is captured and carted away by the Manus. They are taken to Krutov's encampment and are set to be used as ritual fodder. However, before this can happen, all hell breaks loose. In a flurry of shadows and fireflies, Igor pops in out of nowhere, his arcane skill allowing him to transport himself and his allies with seemingly very little limitations. The fight goes down, and though it seems Krutov has the upper hand, he is eventually grievously wounded by Ptolemy. However, rather than accept his defeat and by extension death, he finally dons the Manus mask, transforming into a big dude. We still beat his ass anyway, though he does manage to escape with his life, as the Manus Ritualist comes and gets him out of there. And with that, the battle is won. The ritual over the dawn is broken, and winter finally comes, ending the Golden Famine. And all that's left are to tie up some loose ends. Meryl is picked up by Marcia and Yermolai and returned to Squad 12, though she does manage to escape the repercussions of desertion with Kratos' help. Heron leaves again to go chase death on his own this time, and Verton revisits the Amber Room, reminiscing on her journey so far, but unable to glean further information. Igor also shows up, handing her a heavy book. In his words, the weight of 43 souls combined, the anomalous people that he had abducted, as well as the cube, stating that he is a false Noah and that she is a true savior who deserves it. They depart the room and Igor returns to the step, only to be ambushed by Lilia, who has come to shoot him, though it is revealed that she had actually been dissuaded by Ivan before confronting him, and just wanted to see what he would say. She angrily departs, but not without first warning Igor that she will be watching. We then time skip 5 days to the final scene of the chapter, the suitcase at night. Verton is having a meeting with Irenai with regards to the Amber Room, showing that she is, seemingly at least, colluding with the Foundation Hawks on some level. And that's about it. That brings us to the end of chapter 12. There's a lot I didn't cover for this chapter since there was quite a bit of character development material that, while very good for characterization, wasn't really pertinent on the greater scale of things. It's also probably one of the biggest things that I appreciated with this chapter. It managed to both deliver important main story content while still keeping that personal level growth for a good number of its characters. In some ways, it almost felt like an event story in that regard. But that's gonna be it. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. And a thank you to my YouTube members, Bones and Apple, Pump Aerostar, Amani Echo, and Der Puffer, my Patreon member, Paul A, and a special thank you to Amani Echo for the 30 gifted members, and Chip II for the 10 gifted members. And for the rest of you, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one, alright? Bye-bye.